became the latest casualty of rampant infrastructure development.
Joshimath, a town built on natural landslide debris in Uttarakhand's Chamoli district, now brought to the brink. The roads have developed large cracks, and so have more than 600 houses due to the ground slowly sinking over the years.
This is one of the house in Joshimath town where we are reporting from. You can see clearly that some of the support, wooden support so to say, has been given in in order to give a proper base to this particular area. And also, since you can see the red marks, these are the marks which have been done by the state administration, and these are some of the things which have been done in order for the safe evacuation. That means nobody is allowed to stay here. All the people outside their houses where the marks have been denoted, they have to vacate their house at the earliest.
Around 68 families have been moved to temporary shelters in safer areas.
हमने सभी लोगों से अनुरोध किया है कि ये समय सबको मिलजुल कर जोशीमठ को बचाने का समय है। प्रधानमंत्री जी भी लगातार इसकी समीक्षा कर रहे हैं, लगातार व्यक्तिगत रूप से वो जानकारी ले रहे हैं और उन्होंने हर संभव यहाँ पर मदद का हमको सहायता का आश्वासन दिया कि हर प्रकार से सहायता होगी।
But residents say this issue is not a bolt out of the blue. In fact, it's something that they have been raising for years. Non-stop construction, hydropower projects and widening of national highways have made the slopes of Joshimath highly unstable in the last couple of decades. And then on the 5th of January, things literally reached a breaking point. Work was stopped at NTPC's Tapovan Vishnugad hydel project, following angry protests by residents in the wake of cracks appearing across the town. But the company claimed its 12-kilometer long tunnel had nothing to do with the latest land subsidence.
विशेषज्ञों की सलाह लिए बिना स्थानीय लोगों को विश्वास में लिए इस तरह की तमाम परियोजनाओं को आपको अभी रोकना पड़ेगा। आप पर्यावरणविदों की, विशेषज्ञों की सलाह तो लीजिए।
Experts have recommended shutting down all development and hydroelectric projects in the region and relocating residents.
जोशीमठ के क्षेत्र में अभी हमने नगरपालिका क्षेत्र में और नियर बाय एरियाज में अभी सभी निर्माण कार्य अग्रिम आदेशों तक हमने अभी रोक लगा रखी है।
So is the disaster in Joshimath natural or is it completely man-made?
All right, let me go across first to my colleague Nikhil, who's joining us live from this town, Joshimath. Nikhil, I know it's dark now. But give us a sense, you've been speaking to a lot of people through the day today. What are the locals saying? Obviously, there's been rampant development. You need development on the one side as well. But at the same time, was this a disaster foretold? Multiple committees have been warning about it. What exactly happened suddenly this year on the 3rd of January, where a number of homes, at last count more than 600, suddenly developed these major cracks?
Well, Zaka, the situation continues to be grim in the Joshimath town of the Uttarakhand state. We have spoken to a number of residents who are affected for the same, and starting with the figures which have come out from the official department, close to 603 are the houses which are marked unsafe, and close to 70 families have been relocated, shifted to a safer location. But 80 to 90 families are yet to be shifted to the different relief camps. 4 to 5 of the camps which have been set up by the state administration and the district administration so far in this particular place. There is a section of people who are protesting against the state government, district administration as well. They are saying that it has taken longer than usual for the government to come out and to respond, and it is still taking delayed as far as the process is concerned, because we are talking still that there are many of the families which are yet to be shifted. But we have also spoken to a number of people. They have been clearly saying that they had seen some of the small patches crack, so to say, last month, but it actually widened with the start of the January, and then we have seen that on 2nd, 4th and 5th of the January, many of the cracks have almost widened. Now there are three type of solutions which the government is mulling over. So at first, immediate steps have to be taken. The short-term goals which the government is talking about, which means the rehabilitation of the affected families, it is going to take place. Then the mid-term solution has to be come out. That means a solution which will mark 6 months, and then they have to come up with the long-term solution as to what the permanent solution that the government is going to provide to them, because it is about the residential premises that we are talking about here. But not only the residential houses are affected, there are government premises as well, institutions as well, gurudwaras as well. So multiple premises in the Joshimath town are there which are affected because of the same. But so far the top priority of the government and the administration is to relocate all those people who are affected because of the same, and this is the reason why multiple agencies, Zaka, they are present here on the ground zero. There are series and couple of meetings as well, which are underway since last couple of days, including that of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and that from the state government as well. Zaka.
Okay, Nikhil, we'll leave it at that. We'll see how this story progresses. One of the concerns for the locals is also being evacuated, rehabilitated in the middle of winter. Of course, it's hugely cold in those parts up in the hills. Let me now go across to our guests, and we're trying to find a fundamental answer to this question. Was this a disaster foretold? Could this have been avoided? And what now? What is going to be the immediate priority? Shadab Shams is a BJP spokesperson, Sujata Paul, spokesperson of the Congress, Dr. Satyendra Mittal, a senior professor of civil engineering at IIT Roorkee. CP Rajendran will be joining us as a geoscientist. Indresh Maikhuri is a social activist and a member of Save Joshimath campaign. Shadab Shams, let me start with you first. Multiple committees from 1976 onwards, the MC Mishra Commission, the 2006 Wadia Institute report, and then the latest, last year, the USDMA report, all multiple reports over the years have pointed to the dangers in Joshimath, the dangers of this rampant construction, rampant infrastructure development, but nothing seems to have been done by successive governments. Today, where you have a situation where 600 plus buildings have to be evacuated because widening cracks have appeared over them over the last week or so.
ज़ाका, मैं पूरी ईमानदारी से इस बात को स्वीकार करता हूं कि सरकारों ने कहीं ना कहीं अनदेखियां की हैं। जो रिपोर्ट्स आई हैं, उन रिपोर्ट्स के आधार पे ये कहा जा सकता है कि परेशानी है। आज जोशीमठ के लोग परेशान हैं, एक बहुत गहरे दर्द में हैं, और हम सब उनके दर्द के साथ हैं। इसमें कोई शक नहीं है कि अगर कुछ चीजों को अनदेखा ना किया गया होता तो शायद हालात बेहतर होते, और उसमें दोनों सरकारें, या मैं कहूँ सभी सरकारें जिम्मेदार हैं, क्योंकि हम लोग ये भी चाहते हैं कि विकास हो, और विकास के साथ साथ प्रदेश को रोजगार, युवाओं को रोजगार मिले। विकास भी जरूरी है, लेकिन विकास करने की अगर ये कीमत है तो शायद मुझे लगता है कि सबको इस विकास के बारे में चिंता करने की आवश्यकता है, एक बार दोबारा सोचने की जरूरत है।
लेकिन शादाब जी, वहाँ का जो लोकल्स हैं उनका मानना है कि अभी जो इमीडिएट कारण जो बता रहे हैं वो लोग, दो चीजें, एक तो ये जो एनटीपीसी का प्रोजेक्ट है, तपोवन वाला प्रोजेक्ट, और आपकी बात सही है कि वी नीड डेवलपमेंट एज वेल, विकास भी चाहिए, बिजली भी चाहिए, पानी भी चाहिए, सड़क भी चाहिए, और दूसरा उनका जो कहना है कि ये जो चारधाम का जो वाइडनिंग, रोड का वाइडनिंग जो हो रहा है, इनकी वजह से जो ब्लास्टिंग हो रहा है या बोल्डर को हटा रहे हैं, इसकी वजह से ये जो इमीडिएट लैंडस्लाइड जो हुए हैं इसकी वजह से हैं। इसके बारे में आप क्या बताएंगे?
ज़ाका, मैं फिर आपसे बोल रहा हूं कि अभी सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट से भी एक टीम आई है, जिसमें हमने फॉरेस्ट एंड एनवायरनमेंट मिनिस्ट्री से एक मेंबर लिया है, सेंट्रल वाटर कमीशन से एक मेंबर लिया है, ज्योग्राफिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया से एक मेंबर है, नेशनल मिशन ऑफ क्लियर गंगा से एक मेंबर है, नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ हाइड्रोलॉजी से एक मेंबर है, जल शक्ति मंत्रालय से एक मेंबर लिया है, स्टेट प्रोग्राम ग्रुप के मैनेजमेंट ग्रुप प्रोजेक्ट्स की तरफ से भी एक मेंबर है। और केंद्र सरकार और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट दोनों मिलकर ये चाहती है कि हमें पता चले कि ये पानी कहां से आ रहा है। अभी तो जो मेन प्रॉब्लम है, जो पानी आया है उसका हमें ये नहीं पता चला है वेयर द वाटर इज कमिंग फ्रॉम। तो इसका जो बेसिक लाइन है पहले वो पता चल जाए, इसलिए 3 दिन के अंदर उस कमेटी को अपनी रिपोर्ट सौंपनी है, जिससे हम सब लोगों को ये एक अंदाजा लग सके कि ये आखिर क्यों हो रहा है। सबसे पहला सवाल यही है।
Okay, let me ask Sujata Paul, without getting into ये कांग्रेस बीजेपी का जो तू-तू मैं होता है, but the fact is that as far back as almost 45, 50 years ago, the Mishra Commission report, the MC Mishra Commission report, which came out, and this was the first committee to identify and very clearly said that for road repairs and other construction, it would be advisable not to remove boulders by digging or blasting the hillside. The trees in this area are to be nurtured like children. The committee had recommended that restrictions be placed on heavy construction work, blasting or digging to remove boulders for road repairs and other construction, as well as felling of trees. This was almost 40, 45 years ago. No government, whether it is BJP ruled or Congress ruled in the state of Uttarakhand, has followed the MC Mishra Committee report.
As far as the Mishra Committee report is concerned, this should have been followed, and especially when we are talking about the present situation, we must also understand that whenever these projects come in, there is a constant review by geologists, the Geological Survey of India, and experts. But was it carried on? No, it wasn't, and this is why we are facing this. And like you yourself said, that heavy construction was not supposed to be made over here. The point is that when we talk about the Prime Minister's dream project, the dream project of the Char Dham route, or all these projects, is there any review which is being done? No, there should be consistent review. Like in the rainy case, if you remember in February 2021, when the disaster happened in Chamoli, which is just 20 kilometers from Joshimath, at that time also there was water collecting at one particular point, and environmentalists were asking consistently whether review was being done and why the experts were not taken to task in that particular case. Now, what we are facing today is something so disastrous that, can I just finish, please? This is so important that consistent review should be taking place. But now, because the Char Dham route project, which is between Helang and Marwari, that has been stopped for the time being. But it's not only for the time being that it should be stopped, it should be stopped completely.
Okay, let me go across to Dr. Satyendra Mittal of IIT Roorkee. Forget about, जो report 40, 50 years के पहले आए, उसको रख देते हैं एक second के लिए. But what about the USDMA report that was submitted last year, and it specifically talked about these projects, the Povan Vishnugad hydropower project, which is run by NTPC, the Char Dham road, which both Sujata Paul and Mr. Shadab referred to. It clearly said that these were among, such rapid construction was among the top external forces supplementing the stress of an already geographically and ecologically weak landscape. In fact, the report went on to say that as an immediate measure, there should not be any excavation activities, particularly of the precariously balanced crystalline boulders. Do you believe, as a senior professor of civil engineering, sir, that the rampant construction, particularly heavy-duty construction of these hydropower projects or these road widening projects, those are the reasons why Joshimath is sinking today?
Yes, I fully agree with you that most of the construction is unplanned, and that is one of the main reasons of the devastation. Well, development is, of course, mandatory. Development is very much required. It is inevitable. But nevertheless, if we take sufficient safety measures and precautionary measures, then probably such kind of devastation could be controlled. This is one of the reasons which are anthropogenic in nature. And second reason is, of course, the natural reason. Natural reason is because in this area, the rivers are flowing. And if we provide a sudden, instantaneous closure or some barrier of the river flow, then the water trickles down here and there. And when this water infiltrates into the nearby soil, then the water finds its way and reaches in different parts, and it starts accumulating. And when it starts accumulating, then one fine day, there is a rise in hydrostatic pressure. It is just like we can say that if somebody asks me to drink 1 liter of water, it is okay. But if somebody asks me to drink 500 liters of water at the same point, then, my belly can burst out. So it is more or less like this, that excess hydrostatic pressure has generated at many places, and that causes the creation of the cracks.
Okay, I want to
like,
ask Indiresh Maikhuri, yes, some of these heavy duty infrastructure projects are also to blame, but the fact is that Joshimath as a town itself in the last 20 years, whether it is homes, hotels, tourist homes, guest houses, etc., there's been rampant construction that's come up in the last 20 years. The locals there have been beneficiaries of this development, but now you have a Paikun situation where, they are not just beneficiaries, but they've also become victims of this rampant development. And now when the government wants to move them out, relocate them to other places, many of them are refusing to move because saying that this is our home, this is our hearth, this is where we are going to be. So on the one hand, they were also beneficiaries of this rampant development and this rampant construction that was happening. And at the same time, when things have really taken a turn for the worse, where life is under threat, many of these people are refusing to leave.
Actually, if there was a rampant construction, if there's unplanned urbanization, if there is unplanned construction, then who is to be blamed? Actually, if an administration is in place, if a government is in place, its duty is to regulate all these things. But if government constructions come up in the same manner, when government constructions are there, when all other such type of constructions are there, then you cannot go on blaming people. Actually, it is failure of the regulatory authorities or of the whole regulatory mechanism. And when those who are powerful, all regulatory mechanism is absent for them. They are free from any of such regulatory mechanism. But even then, if it is to be said that unplanned urbanization is to be blamed, if as the government committee said that there was a problem of drainage, there is a problem of sewage, then who is to be blamed for it? Who has to ensure that proper drainage is there? Who is responsible for providing proper sewage? In the end, it is the administration, it is the government who is responsible for all this. And people, if they are refusing to go away from their places because they have their roots, displacement is a very painful process. If you displace people from their roots, it is a very painful process. And I want to specifically point out that people are being blamed, and the whole game is that no questions should be raised over the company whose this hydropower project has caused all this havoc, right from the government people, right to the spokesperson of the party in power, and to the people of NTPC. Everyone is saying that no eyebrows should be towards that NTPC. And if you go down to the history, people right from the inception of the project, and even before the inception of that project, they have the apprehensions that this project would create havoc for them. This project would create disaster for them.
No, but Indiresh, before I go back to Mr. Shams, the fact is also that people will ask, but what about electricity? People of Joshimath surrounding areas do need electricity, and if this project is helping generate electricity for that part of the hills, then surely, no one is saying that it has to happen at the cost of the environment or the cost of ecological balance, particularly in fragile towns like Joshimath. But the need for electricity is also very real.
The need for the electricity is real. Yes, nobody can disagree with this. But has that need been fulfilled? This project was to commence in the year 2011. And it is 2022, and it is still, there are speculations that this project would never complete, it would never finish, as natural hazards and calamities are constantly there due to this process, this project.
Shut up, Shams. One of the points about this drainage.
This project is not giving us electricity.
Yeah, drainage and seepage.
One more question is there, that why was a hydropower project given to a company which has no experience in making hydropower project? Who is making that Tapovan Vishnugad project? It is NTPC, National Thermal Power Corporation. It is not National Hydropower Corporation. The company which has no experience in building up hydropower project, in constructing hydropower project, was assigned the role to construct a hydropower project.
Okay. Shadab Shams, I want to come to the point that Indiresh was making about poor drainage system. If you look at the 2022 report, the USDMA report, उसमें कहा गया है कि poor drainage, sewage and surface runoff disposal of water and erosion by rivers, management of seepage and pore pressure of water, improving the drainage needs to be done. ये तो लोगों का काम नहीं है, ये जो वहाँ का लोकल सरकार का काम है. This is what has been flagged off in the USDMA report. तो ड्रेनेज और सीपेज मैनेज करना जो सरकार का काम है, इफ दैट इज नॉट बीन मैनेज्ड वेल एंड उसकी वजह से आज क्रैक्स आ रहे हैं और पूरे जोशीमठ इज इन अ सिंकिंग स्टेट, तो फिर सरकार की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बनती है ना ड्रेनेज और सीपेज को मैनेज करना.
जाका इसकी वजह से और उसकी वजह से हम लगातार इन वजहों को डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. ये हमारे ख्याली पुलाव हैं, हम सिर्फ कयास लगा रहे हैं. मैंने कहा रिपोर्ट आ जाने दीजिए, वेट फॉर 2 or 3 days. इसलिए एक्सपर्टीज की एक कमेटी बनाई गई है कि वो अपनी रिपोर्ट दें, जो सर्वे, आर्कोलॉजिकल सर्वे, ज्योग्राफिकल सर्वे, तमाम जो सर्वे रिपोर्ट्स हैं, ये एक्सपर्ट्स को इसीलिए भेजा है कि पता चले कि प्रॉब्लम कहाँ है. अभी बैठ जाए कोई बैठ के कि मैंने तो मान लिया है कि सामने वाले को टारगेट करना है, तो नहीं चलेगा. मुझे मालूम है बहुत बड़ा पेट में दर्द है लोगों के इस ऑल वेदर रोड से. लोगों को बड़ी तकलीफ है कि ऑल वेदर रोड जो मोदी जी का ड्रीम प्रोजेक्ट है, ये क्यों कंप्लीट हो रहा है. मैं अभी कंट्रोवर्सी में पढ़ना नहीं चाह रहा हूं, इसलिए मैं ये कह रहा हूं. मैं बिल्कुल ये नहीं कह रहा हूं कि कांग्रेस पार्टी ने इसीलिए कांग्रेस पार्टी ने अपने कार्यकाल में कोई काम पहाड़ के लिए नहीं किया, क्योंकि उन्हें इस प्रकृति की बड़ी चिंता थी. इसीलिए उन्होंने सोचा
Stop blaming everybody else.
कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. मैं बिल्कुल नहीं कह रहा हूं.
The people of Uttarakhand are being affected.
I'm coming to you. Let Mr. Shams finish.
Stop blaming everybody else.
सुजाता जी, let him finish. उसके बाद आपके पास आ रहा हूं मैं.
Don't interrupt me.
जी शम्स जी, बोलिए, खत्म कीजिए आपकी बात. हाँ,
मैं सिर्फ इतना रिक्वेस्ट आपसे कर रहा था कि हम काम कर रहे हैं और हमें मालूम है उत्तराखंड के लोगों को रोजगार भी चाहिए, विकास भी चाहिए, लेकिन प्रकृति की कीमत पर नहीं चाहिए, डिजास्टर की कीमत पर नहीं चाहिए. मैं बिल्कुल नहीं पूछूंगा.
लेकिन शम्स जी, ये भी इसका भी जवाब दे दीजिए ना, बिफोर आई गो टू सुजाता पॉल, इसका भी जवाब दे दीजिए. जो एनटीपीसी जो कंपनी है, ये हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिक कंपनी नहीं है. तो हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिक प्रोजेक्ट एक थर्मल पावर कंपनी को क्यों दिए, नंबर 1. नंबर 2, ये जो प्रोजेक्ट 10 साल पहले आना था, वो अभी भी चल रहा है उसके ऊपर काम. और ऐसा नहीं कि जोशीमठ के लोगों या उस इलाके के लोगों को इस प्रोजेक्ट की वजह से बिजली आ रही है या बिजली मिल रही है. तो फिर किसका फायदा?
मैंने ये बोला है कि मैं बिल्कुल ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि जो केदार बाबा में जो आपदा आई थी उस वक्त कांग्रेस कौन सा काम कर रही थी कि वो आपदा आ गई. ये प्राकृतिक आपदाएं हैं, पहले पता तो चलने दीजिए ये प्रॉब्लम कहाँ है. हम ये जो हो रहा है, ये जो सिंक हो रहा है, बिकॉज ऑफ इसके पीछे प्रॉब्लम क्या है, ये पता तो चलने दीजिए. पहले ही आप ब्लेम गेम स्टार्ट कर देते हैं.
बीजेपी क्रिएटेड.
लेकिन मैं सिर्फ इतना कह रहा हूं, आज लोग परेशान हैं, उनके दर्द को समझिए. ये ब्लेम गेम का वक्त नहीं है. हमें लोगों के दर्द में उनके साथ खड़ा होना है. इसलिए स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने एनटीपीसी को कहा है कि आप 2000 फैब्रिकेटेड मकान तैयार कर दीजिए. लोगों को हम वहां से दूसरी तरफ शिफ्ट कर रहे हैं. लगभग 100 से अधिक परिवारों को शिफ्ट किया जा चुका है और बाकी लोगों को शिफ्ट करने की प्रक्रिया चल रही है. पूरी सरकार.
Sujata Paul, at the end of the day, as Mr. Shams said, we don't know entirely what the reason for the sudden cracks appearing from Jan 2nd onwards this year. And secondly, there is a committee that's been set up. The Prime Minister is directly looking into this matter. The CM went to that place on Saturday. Let's allow the investigation to reveal what caused this and the people to be rehabilitated. That should be the priority, not to find fault with, BJP government did this, Congress government did that. Sujata Paul.
Zaka, the point is definitely not what BJP did or did not do. The fact is they did not do anything. So you have to blame them. They are in power. And I'll tell you why. Because in November 2021, the people of Joshimath, along with Congress leaders, went to the chief minister. They gave a memorandum to him, but he did nothing. Then the people, and ask Mr. Mekhuri, he'll tell you that the Sangharsh Samiti got a report made by experts, by geologists, and submitted it to the chief minister through his secretary in August. Now, after that, what has happened? Nothing. Let me also tell you that the gateway project which was coming up to Badrinath has now been stopped. It has been halted and it is now going to be coming only till People Koti. This proves that there is something wrong happening over there. And that is why this same government has had to stop it at People Koti. So this means that the government was not doing anything. And last point, Zaka, why is it that on the 3rd, when the cracks appeared, the chief minister did not go. On the 5th, the SDM issued orders for the blasting and all the work to be stopped. And on the 7th, he went there. And these guys are themselves saying that it is the PMO which has taken cognizance of the problem. It is the Chief Minister who should be responsible. He should be informing the PMO, not the other way around, right?
Okay, all right. Mr. Shams, quick response. Uske baad I have to go to Dr. Mittal and final word to Indresh Maikuri. Yeah, quick response.
Experts बता रहे हैं 85 सेंटीमीटर every year ये सिंक कर रहा है जोशीमठ. ये आज से तो नहीं कर रहा है. 2003 में मिश्रा रिपोर्ट आई, तब कांग्रेस की सरकार थी, तब के सो रहे थे क्या? यहाँ भी आपकी सरकार थी, केंद्र में भी आपकी सरकार थी, तो सो रहे थे क्या?
You should be reviewing your projects regularly. Stop saying politics
करके
of
प्लीज, एक करके.
You don't stay in Joshimath.
Sujata ji, please, you made your point. Let him finish, and then I have to go to Indresh after this. Yes. Only Shadab Shams, please. Yes, only Shadab Shams. जी. शम्स जी बोल, खत्म कीजिए आपकी बात. हाँ, 10 सेकंड में प्लीज.
मैं ये कह रहा था कि अभी ब्लेम गेम का वक्त नहीं है. मेरे युवा मुख्यमंत्री ने भी ये कहा है कि अभी हमें सबको साथ आना है. जोशीमठ को बचाने के लिए, जोशीमठ के लोगों के दर्द को साझा करने के लिए सबको साथ आना है. हम हर संभव मदद के लिए सरकार तैयार है, और इसलिए हम ये रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं तमाम विपक्ष के साथ. ये ब्लेम
so let me go to Indresh Maikuri. Indresh, you know, I had visited Joshimath, I think it was in 2021, the winter of 2021. And clearly the infrastructure there was not able to keep pace with the amount of, you know, tourists who are coming in. There were massive jams all the way leading up to Joshimath and beyond. It's clear that, you know, given the amount of tourist interest and, you know, the interest of people there to travel to that place, the infrastructure there is not keeping pace with the amount of people and the amount of interest there is. So the fact that those roads need to be redeveloped, or, you know, the highways need to be widened, there can be no two ways about it. The question is, you know, at what cost? Or the question is, what technique are you going to use? Is it going to affect this ecologically sensitive area, or are you going to devise ways in which the ecological balance also can be maintained? But the fact that, you know, the infrastructure there is woefully short of the inflow of people, that was apparent even 2 or 3 years ago, and it's more apparent now after the end of Corona.
That is what we should think about. And as I said yesterday also in a TV show, that basically we need a model of sustainable development. And here, this development model which has come up, which is there in place, it has very much, you know, questioned the sustenance of the city itself. The sustenance of the city is in question, whether the city would sustain or not. It is still unknown. So we need a sustainable development model. We need a model which can cope with the ecologically fragile area of this region. Moreover, I think that this needs to be discussed, and it is not a question of this committee or that committee. The government, which is in power, will be questioned.
Okay.
The government needs to be questioned. It's not a question of this party or that party.
Oh, absolutely, no doubt about it. I mean, like Indresh was saying, whether drainage or the lack of seepage was the fundamental reason for the fundamental reason for what has happened in Joshimath, then surely questions need to be asked of the local authorities there. We'll leave it at that. All I want to say as we close is that especially in ecologically sensitive and fragile zones like Joshimath and other parts, whether it's in Himachal, Uttarakhand, or even Jammu and Kashmir for that matter, you need to find that balance of sustainable amount of tourists and interests of people from outside those areas who want to go there and partake in that experience. Yet at the same time, you should make sure that the infrastructure, the construction, the development that is happening there is not happening at a rampant and a frantic pace in a way that it leads to the sinking of towns like what we've seen in Joshimath over the last few days. Nevertheless, like I said, the most important priority in that town now would be the rehabilitation and the relocation of these 600 plus families whose buildings have been affected. And then, of course, the government needs to come up with some kind of a plan as to how to stop the subsidence that's happening in this ecologically sensitive town. That's a wrap. Anusha joining you with the biggest exclusive in just a moment.
Good evening, hello and welcome to the special broadcast. I'm Anusha Soni. The tussle between the Tamil Nadu governor and Ravi and the DMK government is indeed not a new one. On various occasions, the government has questioned the conduct of the present governor to the extent that the government complained against the governor to the President of India. Today, all hell broke loose at the Tamil Nadu Assembly when the governor omitted few words from his speech. Conventionally, that speech was given by the government to the governor. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, in the presence of the governor, went ahead and proposed a resolution against the governor. Amidst the standoff, the governor staged a walkout of the session before it was complete. These were unprecedented scenes in many ways. For a governor to refuse to read the speech made by the government and omit words at his own discretion. For a chief minister to move a resolution against the governor in his presence. Well, all of this has been simmering for far too long. The governor has been sitting on key bills. He's been accused of misusing his office. And on the other hand, the governor has also taken repeated jibes at the present DMK government and the Dravidian model. This standoff has led to almost a breakdown of the constitutional machinery and a delicate balance between the two constitutional functionaries. Politics, once again, is derailing policy in the state of Tamil Nadu. We explore all these angles on the biggest exclusive tonight.
Let us say Tamilagam is more appropriate.
Protest is to express our displeasure against Mr. R.N. Ravi. He is just a spokesperson of the RSS.
His view as regards Tamil Nadu and Tamilagam in the context that he used is really bothering the opposition parties.
Well, as I earlier said, the politics has on repeated occasions derailed the policy in the state of Tamil Nadu. What have been the key flashpoints? Let's take you through some incidents one by one, because clearly this is not the first time that the two constitutional functionaries are not in sync with each other. While the Coimbatore blast, the governor questioned the delay by the state government. It was also said that why it has taken so long for an NIA probe to be ordered. The governor went ahead and said this is clearly something which is not good for the national security and the government should have been far more serious on this entire matter. So that was a key flashpoint that had emerged when the Coimbatore blast had happened between the governor and the DMK government. Let's move on. The NEET bill, this has been one of the key flashpoints between the government and the governor. The governor had returned the bill seeking to dispense NEET-based admissions. NEET, of course, is a very emotive issue in the state of Tamil Nadu. The state passes a second bill to the medical admissions on +2 scores. And more importantly, this was an assertion by the state government that you've sent the bill back, but we are reasserting, so you have to follow it. Now, meet and greet snub. In April 2022, the government had skipped. There was a reception at the governor's home, and usually at these ceremonial functions or even invitations, usually the politicians and the governors oblige each other. That was not done. Chief Minister Mr. M.K. Stalin, he skipped the reception amid the NEET bill face-off. So this time, this was one occasion where the tensions were at an all-time high. The appointment of the Vice Chancellor, the bill empowering state to appoint VC was passed in April 2022. The bill sought to take power back from the governor and give it into the hands of the Chief Minister. Move after the governor appointed VCs to about 3 state universities, and more importantly, it was argued that the state government was not taken into confidence. Similar controversy was seen in Kerala as well. Now, the Sanatan Dharma praise on the cultural agenda. The DMK and the governor are on completely different pages, and he has taken repeated pot shots at the Dravidian politics. The state has objected to governor's invocation of Sanatan Dharma. The governor had said that the entire of the country and whatever we have done so far is a byproduct of Sanatan Dharma. In June, the